So as of recently, most of the Theater of Blood items have really been crashing. This gave me the opportunity to get Justiciar armor for really cheap. It actually hit a price of about 250 mil for the whole set, which is nothing. And I'm pretty sure the lower prices are due to the really high drop rates of all of the items. Well, today I wanted to try out the full Justiciar armor set on the wilderness bosses to just see how effective it really is. I'm obviously not going to try it on things like Scorpia, where I'd usually be using a different combat style to melee, but I'll try it on all of the melee bosses that I'm showing on the screen right now. In the gear setup I'm using, I have about an 11% damage reduction. The Justiciar set works off your defense bonus divided by 3000, and that's the percentage that it reduces the damage in that style. So with the 300 defense bonus, it's around about 10 to 11%. The full set does stack with the Ellie, and I'm hoping to try some bosses with the Justiciar set plus the Ellie pretty soon. The damage reduction doesn't work in PvP, so if I get attacked by a team, I'm probably just dead. I'm risking only about 500k, but if I do get smited, I'll lose like 10 mil or so. The magic defense of the Justiciar set is in the negative, so this means that praying mage is going to work best in most situations, but it turned out to be really different for each boss, so let's get started. I started off with Vertion because Vertion's probably the hardest wilderness boss to kill and takes the longest per kill. A lot of the time people safe spot Vertion, and after trying Justiciar there, I think safe spotting is still the best option. I found that using Protect melee was better than Protect from magic because you can really easily dodge all of his magic attacks, similar to the Chaos Fanatic. His most powerful attack is his Shockwave attack, and that's the one where he smacks the ground and he can hit up to 45 on any player that's around him. The full Justiciar set plus Protect from melee did reduce the damage from this attack, but not enough to make it worthwhile rather than safe spotting. Overall, Vertion's just too powerful and it's just not worth going against him in a 1v1 situation. The next boss I tried was the Chaos Elemental, and this one actually went really well. So the Chaos Elemental attacks with all three attack styles, mage, range, and melee. So I used Protect from magic since I have a negative magic bonus, and the Justiciar set was able to really help tank a lot of the Chaos Ellie's hits. For anyone that's done the Elemental before, that thing hits really often and really hard. But with the super high defense bonus, the Ellie was struggling to hit. I could probably do like 20 kills an invent. Killing it with Justiciar is a lot faster than flinching the Chaos Elemental, but perhaps I could have brought a little bit of a better weapon. The whip is pretty good, but I feel like maybe a God Sword would be better because if he teleports you away, getting one good hit of a God Sword is better than one hit of the whip. The Chaos Ellie actually has the same defensive stats in all combat styles, so it doesn't really matter what you use on him, and interestingly, his melee attack is actually long distance as well. He has a max hit of 28, which was reduced to about 24 with the effect of Justiciar, so all in all, it worked really well on the Chaos Elemental, but I don't think the Chaos Elemental in itself makes it worth it. Next was the King Black Dragon, and honestly, it's kind of hard to tell how effective the full Justiciar was. Fairly sure the Justiciar set doesn't work against Dragonfire, so it's not going to reduce a Dragonfire attack by 11%, but the really high defense bonuses that Justiciar gave me really did help me extend my trip out a little bit, but I wasn't really hitting as often, so I think maybe taking Bandos and something like a Torture Amulet is going to be a lot better than taking the Justiciar armor set. The King Black Dragon never uses ranged or magic, so Justiciar isn't all that helpful. The next boss was Kalisto, and Kalisto attacks with melee, but sometimes he uses a shockwave attack that hits really high and knocks you back. Well, I kind of wanted to see whether the Justiciar armor set helped at all against that specific attack. Kalisto has a defense level of 440. My best bet is a slash weapon, which is why I'm using a whip. Using Protect from melee, the melee attacks really didn't do any damage to me at all, but I found that his shockwave attacks were not reduced in damage whatsoever. I feel like something like the Elijah Spirit Shield may work here, but since the Justiciar's percent is based off your defensive stats, it means that this shockwave attack doesn't fall into any of these categories. All in all for Kalisto, Verax is going to be the best one here, mainly due to his super high defense bonus. So that's 4 of the bosses done, and most of them didn't work so well with Justiciar. The only one that's really stood out so far is the Chaos Elemental, which it makes a lot of sense because that guy uses all 3 attack styles, so Justiciar's really helpful. And you can't distinguish in between each attack of the Chaos Elemental, so Justiciar is actually really helpful. Lava dragons are pretty similar to green and blue dragons, where they can only attack you with melee or dragon breath when you're in range. The defensive stats of lava dragons are plus 70 stab and plus 70 range, and they're both the lowest ones, so both stab and range actually work the best. It's worth noting though that lava dragons have a magic level of 1, so that makes magic really accurate against them as well. I took pretty much an identical setup that I used for Vertion to the lava dragons, and I decided to try them without protect from melee just to see how helpful Justiciar is and if I really do need protect from melee to kill them. They didn't really hit that often without protect from melee, which makes Justiciar pretty good, but since I could be using protect from melee, it's not really needed. Against Venenatus, you have to use Protect from Magic, and the Spider also uses long-range melee attacks, so the Justiciar Armour-set is so helpful. Venenatus also has a stun attack that hits up to 50, and sadly that stun cannot be avoided by anything. It doesn't count as any attack style, and it hits through any defense bonus that you have. I did notice a huge reduction in the damage from Venenatus. He was way less accurate against me, and he didn't really hit that high when he did hit me. The one thing about Venenatus that makes Justiciar a little bit is the defensive stat, and Venenatus has plus 260 defense in the melee attacks and plus 100 in range, so that makes range a lot more effective on him, and of course the full Theoatrix set that hits through defense is a really good option. That 260 defensive bonus makes it really hard to hit him. I was still able to hit him, but since kills did take a little bit longer than they would with Theoatrix, I'd say Theoatrix and Justiciar at Venenatus are about the same. They don't differ too much because Theoatrix will kill Venenatus faster, but you'll take more damage, whereas the full Justiciar set will reduce the amount of damage you take, but you'll be hitting a little bit less. I suppose you could try pairing Justiciar with a range setup, so I gave that a crack as well, and my attack bonuses for range were not the best, so I wasn't hitting all that often, but I wasn't getting hit all that often either. I looked like a bit of a weirdo testing range in full Justiciar, but it proved to be pretty effective. So that's all the wildy bosses that I wanted to try, and in conclusion, it doesn't really work all that well on many of them because most of them have an attack style like Dragonfire or Kalisto's Shockwave attack, which can't be reduced from the effect of Justiciar. The Chaos Elemental and Venenatus did prove to make Justiciar pretty handy, but at the end of the day, I feel that Justiciar would be most helpful at things like Bandos, maybe Tecton, and a few other bosses that are specifically weak to melee. Before I end this video, I wanted to announce something pretty cool that I have coming for you guys. Recently, I've been getting so many clips of the day. Sadly, with so many, I can't exactly put them all into regular videos that I'm making on my main channel. Recently, I created a channel called the Oldschool Archive. Basically, it's a community channel where I'll be accepting a huge range of different clips to show off some huge achievements, some good PKing, some really lucky boss kills, pretty much anything in old school that you're happy to achieve. I really do think I can bring something pretty new to the table for community channels. SparkMac uploads every 2 months, and Chris Archie's preoccupied at Jagex nowadays, so he can't run his community channel. Some Windows computers with the right Windows version actually have a function on their PC where it records the last 60 minutes of what happened without even telling you, so you can go back and get that file in case something happens. So that's awesome for those people that just don't record stuff and would like to get clips of stuff that just happened at any time. I'll let you guys look up how to do that on Windows 10, but for the other people, OBS is a really good way to record your screen, and honestly, it doesn't even need to be a screen recording some of the time. If you get a really big achievement, like let's say someone maxes, I'm happy with a screenshot for someone maxing, because I feel like maxing is something that's worth showing off to people, and it would be a really cool addition to add to the video to have different players that are maxing or getting really high skill achievements as well to be able to get their place. So if you'd like to send me a clip, all you have to do is upload your video to YouTube and then go to osrstips.com/submit. I've put that in the description down below. That URL is most likely going to change soon. I'm working on buying oldschoolarchive.com, but for now, if you'd like to go check out my other channel, there'll be a link on the screen right now. I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you thought of Justiciar down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.